Hello, it's June 2022, and I'm going to say that today and this week has been very hot, very nice. Well, actually too hot, so kind of uncomfortable, but welcomed from what was before with cold and rain. The nights are still kind of cool, and apparently we're going to be heading back into cooler weather and more rain. But enjoy it as it lasts, right? So I want to address two things real quick before I get into the topic of this video. Now, the first thing I would like to address is my video short from yesterday and explain that. Now, it's just me saying my name, and that's partly inspired by people not knowing how to pronounce, for example, my last name. So there's the pronunciation. And that was really the inspiration about that. But I've had some people inquire as to my condition, my well-being, when I did that little short brief. So I'm going to explain that. I had actually one person say, looks like I'm on drugs, and whatever. I want to clarify again, I don't do drugs, I don't do alcohol, and it's not to say I don't ever drink. I might have one drink once a year, maybe two drinks, but that's not even worth talking about. Condition I was in physically, and I'll lead into the emotional side after, is my blood sugar thing, whatever it's called, was really low, scary low for me. And that's just because of not having any food. And something that I've talked about in other videos over the years, I've gone as long as almost 2 weeks without actually eating anything. And it's hard, but it's all about survival, right? And I don't complain, and I'm not looking for sympathy or a pat on the back for even surviving, not having any food. But yesterday, my blood sugar was so low, I was actually really nervous and scared. And I mentioned I have other health issues, and that started to come about too, and I'm assuming it's all connected. Whatever. So that's really the physical state that I was in, and I was saved by a sandwich and a drink, and I'd like to thank that person for the sandwich and the drink. And I'm not normally a big pop fan, but I guzzled that pop so fast, and it helped so much. Even that little sandwich, I was thankful to have it. So, and that was later on last evening that saved me, and it got me through the night. Now, emotionally, and this is going to segue into the other part that I would like to address before the video. My emotional state has been really super low, and I've been trying. For years I've been trying, and really trying to find a way to get out of the situation that I'm in. And the past 2-3 days I've just been applying to every job, not even reading about the job. I just got to the point, and partly because I was so fatigued physically, just apply. And I've explained the issues behind all that, and even shown some screenshots, and did some videos in the past about obstacles that I faced with that. So I've been really trying, and I'm going to interject here for a moment that I've had some free showers, and I'd like to thank the company for that. Makes a world of a difference. And I try to maintain, instead of my grubby wilderness clothes. So for one, I'm not in the wilderness, but I try to dress my normal self in the anticipation and hope being the possibility of reason, that I get a call for a job interview. And I've had a few, and unfortunately nothing panned out, and I've tried to create some opportunities for myself and haven't really heard any replies to that. So I'm really trying. My emotional state with my situation and not being able to even sleep properly, not having my camper conversion inside of my vehicle anymore, is really taking its toll on me physically and mentally. and just everything that I've been going through, and not having anyone to talk to out in the wilderness when I would spend long periods of time out there, no one around. I didn't feel lonely. Finding myself in cities, I'm surrounded by people, and I feel lonely because I don't really talk to anyone. People, I'll engage people, or they'll engage me in parking lots and stuff as I'm sitting like I am now, which is awesome. And sometimes you have a brief interaction, and sometimes you see the same people, and the conversations build up and grow from there. And if any of those people are watching, fantastic meeting you. And I even talk to people, for example, in stores and stuff, and places that I regular, and met some really cool people, and see them regularly, every day almost. And it's great just to have that quick interaction. And I cherish, even when I have the opportunity to actually talk to friends, even if it's on the phone or online through voice, or even better, video, I cherish the few friends that I do have who have stuck by me all these years. Going back to my emotional state in that video, I was really super down and just trying to cope with everything. And I've said in other videos over the years, too much for too long by too many takes its toll, even on the strongest character. And I know this is going to be a shock for some of you, but I am only human, right? I know you're shocked about that. But getting back to the seriousness, I was really in a hard place, mentally, emotionally, and but that wasn't what the video was about. I guess it kind of came across that way more than just wanted to say my name and do a little quick short to give my subscribers something to see. And this segues into the other point I would like to make real quick, and I know I've been kind of talking off on tangents. Remember, I don't get to talk to people too often, so I'm rambling now. But I forget, maybe about 3-4 days ago, I had actually found a men's rights group. And I did a video within the past few weeks anyway, saying there's no men's groups online. And lo and behold, there was one small group, private group, and never really had an opportunity to meet the other few people that were there. And I'm not saying anything bad about the individual who started this group. Just seems to be your average Joe type of person who just wanted somewhere where guys can, whatever, talk, vent, bounce off of each other and everything else. And I was actually really happy to have found that group and be accepted. And I ended up doing a hello post, thank you for the, letting me join type of thing. And I gave a description about, a brief summary about my situation and the story behind that. And I even talked a little bit about my history, and then feeling really low and not wanting to be a burden to anyone. And that's how I honestly feel in life, is being a burden because of the situation that I'm in. And I've highlighted again and again how injustice, and these people who impose injustice, they not only impact the individual that they're imposing injustice on, but everyone in that person's life is being affected as well. People don't think that their egos just blind them. And that's going to be kind of leading towards the topic of this video. So I joined this group and took down my post and left the group because I was really in not a very good place in my mind. And even though I'm doing videos, and I've said this before in other videos, I try not to, unless deliberate. There's been a few times where I deliberately wanted to show, for example, the effects of post-traumatic stress and whatever, but I don't want that to be the theme of my videos. I don't complain about my health issues, the pains that I'm going through, the headaches that have increased since May 4, 2013, tying in with the head trauma that I had sustained from the 2 former officers and everything else. I don't dwell on these things. I'll mention these things once in a while, but I don't want that to be the basis of my videos. So when I do my videos, and sometimes I've done many retakes and for different reasons, but usually it's because of something health-wise or whatever. So try to maintain something positive, like try to have that positive vibe. So that's what you're seeing. You don't see the behind the scenes. And this even applies, and I've said this in videos, when I, for example, go into a store or something like that, to when I have money to get food or supplies, or, you know, I compose myself. It takes a lot out of me. And then by the time I get back to my vehicle, I just sit in the seat where I am right now and just collapse and catch my breath and then continue on. So going back to this group, I left the group. Now the person who started the group had private messaged me saying, you know, most welcome back. And I said why I left, because I didn't want to be a burden, because I didn't have anything positive to really share. And so I ended up, you know, after some dialogue back and forth, joining again. And this is where things really went south. So I reposted my life story, just summarizing it. Like, it wasn't, you know, maybe about a 3-minute read, but going back to surviving abortion all the way down to where I am now and what I'm dealing with right now. And I did that both times. And I've done this in other times in the past with other so-called men's groups, just so people have an understanding of who I am and maybe why I might say something that I do say, feeling low or whatever. Not for sympathy or anything like that. Just so people have an understanding of where I'm coming from. Well, this individual, I have no idea what their issue is. Now, they did end up sharing something personal that I guess they've been going through for a number of years. And if this person's watching, I hope that you find what went missing. Moving forward, it seemed like there was a huge disconnect between me and this individual, and it's unfortunate. And this person started doubting my story, everything. And I try to explain, just want to let people know in the group, who I am, where I'm coming from, why, I'm going through what I'm going through right now. Now, and throughout my history online, for example, I would have other guys say, "Oh, I relate to, something that I would have said." Just, I'm not getting into any details. And they'll say, "Oh, I relate to that totally." And I'll be like, "No," and they, do this whole nice write-up and share their story, which I appreciate. And it's like, yeah, I can't relate to what you're talking about. And I find a lot of people can't relate to my life. How many people, man, can say that the woman they married went missing overseas because of sex trafficking? I'm sure there are men out there, but generally speaking, most men have other normal type of stories. So when I share my stories and, this is what happened here and this is what happened here, without getting into details, but just kind of trying to do a real brief, that's so for example, in this men's group, they're not thinking, "Oh, I can relate," or trying to give me advice on something that they're completely off track with. And this person who started this group, I don't know if they were trolling me, or I don't know really the whole story. And I said, well, what do you do, like, for work? Because there was something that was just off. And because I wouldn't prove where I am in real time, my location, which I never do, they thought that was suspicious. Everything was suspicious. And they were claiming there was so much vagueness to my story. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to be very, you could write a whole book and then lose people in the details. And I highlighted and I even sent some links to my a couple of my videos and my Facebook. I've supported my story with independent evidence, a plethora. But I don't know what happened. Anyway, things went south. I ended up getting booted out of that group, and that's it. And it's unfortunate because I was really wanting to just have somewhere, as I said to them, to the group, I just want to make friends and network and, have some other people to bounce off of. But whatever, it is what it is. And I'm not dwelling on it, and I have no ill feelings about it. Now, I want to talk about mental gymnastics, something that I've talked about a lot. And I'm going to start off by asking this rhetorical question. How many of you have ever said, I just need something, when trying to make a conclusion, for example, about someone? I just need something. Now, we see, for example, in leaked documents, say from military airstrikes, and you can hear the guys, like these gunner guys, saying, they want to shoot, but they need a reason, anything. And you can actually hear them saying, come on, just whatever. And they may even know that the person has nothing in their hand but other than a sandwich, and that's all it takes. And then they can say, well, I seen something in their hand. They know damn well that it was a sandwich, whatever it was, right? As long as you got something. Now, if you ever find yourself, whether it be about making a conclusion about an individual or any topic, and you're saying, I just need something, or maybe not those exact words, that is mental gymnastics. And everyone at some point in their life has said that. I just need something. Just give me something. You see that a lot, for example, as well in relationships, where you have two people, a married couple, and the wife or the husband, they're looking for that excuse, or looking for something. We also see this with, for example, law enforcement. I just need something. And that's where we get into the mental gymnastics of ultimately leading to wrongful convictions. And then in relationships, they just need something just to justify why it has to end. So that is a good sign. That is a sign, not the only sign, but it's a good sign that you're doing mental gymnastics. I just need something. And then you start creating this whole false narrative, which could lead to false accusations, which can lead to someone's demise. So I just wanted to give, really something to think about with regards to mental gymnastics. And how do we know? And mental gymnastics applies to not only individuals, but groups, social groups, for example. We see one side who are opposed something, looking at the other side, saying, yeah, you guys are looking at, cognitive dissonance and willful blindness and all these other fancy terms that these people use that they really don't understand the studies behind it, but whatever. And then we see the people who are all for something, looking at the ones opposed, saying the same types of things. And they're doing mental gymnastics. I just need something. Just give me something that I don't have to listen to them, accept the truth, or accept something else. And this leads to following false information type of thing. This mental gymnastic goes on all the time. Just need something. And we also see this, for example, when, say for example, someone who's providing video content or posts or something, someone will come along and find one thing that someone has said in a video they don't like, and boom, mental gymnastics kicks in and it erases everyone. And it's a very, very dangerous thing that's going on in the world today. So we see this across the board. And we see the same type of thing, for example, with world events and what's going on between different countries, allegedly or not, whatever. It's all mental gymnastics, and this is where the whole world is the stage, right? Anyway, I really hope I've given you some things to think about, and I know there's a few other things that I wanted to get into, but for time constraints, because this video has gone a little bit too long, longer than I wanted, I'll save it for another video. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Listen to this and write it down if you can't remember it. You're never going to outgrow warfare. You simply must learn to fight. I hear people saying to me, oh, when is it going to get easier? When you die.